You're watching Meet the Movie Press, and coming up, we're going to be talking about the Fast and Furious spin-off, the Unbreakable sequel, The Return of the Goldbloom, and Timon and Pumba!
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Meet the Movie Press.
Good morning, everybody out there on the Popcorn Talk Network. Welcome to Meet the Movie Press. I am your loyal host, Jeff Sneider, editor-in-chief of the tracking board, tracking-board.com. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @theinsnider. And with me today, we have a very special guest, since Showbiz Simon is out on a top-secret mission, a Marvel mission, if you will. We have Brianne Chandler with us, Miss Movies.
Miss Movies is my name because sometimes I miss movies. I have 2 kids. I can't get to the theater all the time. And sometimes I miss trivia questions, too. But, that happens. Trivia questions about movies.
She didn't miss this show this morning, folks. She woke up early. I appreciate the dedication, and I'm sure you will, too. Now, where can we find you? You are the host of Film Therapy, 6 Degrees.
Yes. If you go to missmovies.net, you can find my entire network of things that I do.
A network?
I do a blog. I have my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/missmovies. But you can all find it there, missmovies.net.
She's a multi-talent, folks, and we're lucky to have her this morning because we have a ton of news to cover. It's crazy.
I don't know how you get through all this.
We're not going to, and we're
There's
probably going to take some calls midway through the show because I'm sure some of you have questions for Miss Movies. Let's start by talking about this Fast and Furious spinoff.
Let's start with that because I'm very excited about this. I heard that there was a credit scene that was pulled.
Yes.
Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Okay. Have you talked about this?
No. Why don't you recap?
I know that for Fate of the Furious, that they pulled a credit scene which was featuring The Rock and Jason Statham, and what they were going to be doing, like maybe on this spin-off film. And I don't know the exact details of the scene. Maybe you know a little bit more than I do. But I know that there was a rumor that Vin Diesel saw it and said no.
Yes.
And it had to get pulled. Like, it was already on the way to theaters.
Apparently, they shot it behind Vin's back, and then his sister, Samantha Vincent, who's the executive producer of these films, found out about it, and Vin forced, basically, he found out, he got pissed, and he forced Universal to cut it.
Right.
Universal had sort of said, this was always something that was intended for the home entertainment release. But then why did it have to be stricken from prints? Either way, so now there is a spin-off on the table, and it would focus on The Rock and Jason Statham, and also likely Charlize Theron, and I assume it would be The Rock and Statham teaming up to track down Cypher.
Okay. But here's the thing. Mild spoiler, maybe. Can I give a spoiler? Because
I think so. If you haven't seen
leave...
Fate of the Furious by now, that's on you guys.
It is. It was the highest grossing of its time for a weekend release. I hope
Biggest
that everyone...
global release ever worldwide,
I hope that everyone has seen this. But it kind of seems at the end that The Rock's going to take some time off. So this would kind of contradict that.
Listen, I don't know what's going on with these Fast and Furious movies. I don't know, will The Rock sit out Fast 9? Where will this spin-off fall in the timeline? Will it be the next movie up? And so fall between 8 and 9? Will they shoot 9 and then you'll do the spin-off? Will they shoot 9 and 10 and then basically start fresh after 10? I don't know what The Rock's contract calls for. I know he has a super crazy busy schedule. Fast 9 does not have a director. Don't just assume that F. Gary Gray is coming back. So I'm not sure where things actually stand, but are you interested in a Rock and Statham team-up movie?
I am definitely interested in anything that has to do Fast and Furious because I am a big fan of the franchise. I was actually hoping, jokingly, that the credit scene would feature Christopher Lloyd coming in and being like, we got to go back in time.
Great Scott.
It's going to be Fast 9, and we're going to go back in time to, destroy Hitler. That would be cool.
Some kind of time traveling historical thing.
And then
because they're not going to
10,
space. Get the space thing out of your heads right now. That's not happening. Let me ask you this though.
That was more of a if it works in a script, we'll do it.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say never with this franchise. If you were Vin Diesel though, are you feeling slighted by this? I've given you here's the biggest worldwide opening for this movie. I don't know. Should Vin Diesel feel pissed? He's essentially being cut out.
Well, he obviously was with the credit scene, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what his contract states. Like, does he own the franchise just because he's the face of the franchise?
He's also the producer of the franchise, so no matter what happens with the spinoff, he's going to have a credit on it. You know, whether he's in front of the camera or not. Yeah, well, you can bet for sure. I think it's necessary. I think as successful as this new movie has been, it was creatively not that interesting. It felt like we've seen it before, and it's unwieldy. These movies are unwieldy now because they have such a large cast and so many characters to service, and because of that, they all get sort of shortchanged. So I think that if you did narrow the focus to Hobbs and Deckard Shaw and Cypher, you could have an actually pretty interesting movie there.
Do you think Owen will be in that movie as well? Because that's who I'd like to see, personally.
I bet. That's suddenly Luke Evans. For all I know, there's like a whole...
And Helen Mirren. Like, I would really like to see just their family life.
The Shaw family.
Yeah, them having tea
I wonder if there could be more, brothers and twins and cousins. It's like this whole army of Shaws, and they just keep bringing these people out.
Why not?
Anyways, that was interesting, and I think Chris Morgan is going to be working on that one, the architect of the Fast franchise. What else is going on? Universal cooking up a sequel to Split and Unbreakable with M. Night Shyamalan. It's going to be called Glass. Now we've got Anya Taylor-Joy, the star of Split, and James McAvoy. They're coming back. We've got Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis coming back from Unbreakable.
Okay.
My question is, will David Dunn's family return? I mean, have you seen Unbreakable?
I have, but it's been since it came out.
You're due for a rewatch.
I'm actually watching it this weekend. What do you know? Because we're going to be talking about it on 6 Degrees of Feature Film on Wednesday.
There you go.
So I will be rewatching it. I watched Tremors last night instead. Maybe I should have watched that to be ready for today. I apologize, everyone. I prioritized wrong.
So Bruce Willis has a son and has a wife, and they're pretty integral to the plot of these films.
I do remember Robin Wright.
The wife is the whole reason that he sort of went in this direction. He gave up his football career and chose love, and then
you do.
Of course.
Football isn't forever, everyone. But
love is. And
Spencer
Treat Clark played his son. And they were setting up something very interesting with the son. I mean, there's an amazing color palette sort of thing going on with Unbreakable, and there's a whole code to each color. And he's often pictured wearing green or orange, so he's like in the middle of like, is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy?
Yeah, is he going to have some sort of powers? That's what we're thinking about.
Exactly. But it's like Anakin or whatever. Like is he going to choose the dark or the light? I think that this sounds awesome. I didn't love Split, but I love Unbreakable.
Okay.
And I think that those two worlds combined could lead to something really interesting. What about you? Did you see Split?
I did. I saw Split. I thought it was an all right kidnapping movie.
Yeah, with the Unbreakable things shoehorned in kind of at the end.
I feel like without that, I would have been just like, okay, great. I feel like people, because of that scene, because of that second, because of that end credit section, like that's why people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, it's all in the same universe. And that doesn't change for me how the rest of the film was just kind of all right, I don't know.
I'm with you on that. I mean, it was a stroke of genius on Universal and Blumhouse and Knight's part, because people leave the theater on a high, and that's what they're talking about. So it's a neat little trick. I think you're right, it doesn't make the movie that preceded it any better.
Yeah, because you could take that out and you could still have a cohesive movie. You don't have to have that. And maybe that was thrown in later. I don't know. I don't know what the projection was for it originally.
Well, it was super successful. I can see a sequel where Bruce Willis's family isn't necessarily involved. I could see how they don't really need them. But to me, they're just such a big part of that character and why I love him. I mean, remember that scene where he's bench pressing the paint cans?
And I do now.
In Unbreakable, and his son's just looking on like amazed. Man, context is everything, and family I think is pretty important for that one. So I'd love to see them back, but just glad that this is finally happening decades later.
So you wanted it originally when you first saw the film?
Yeah, I wanted to further explore the world of Unbreakable. I thought it was really interesting what he set up with that that sort of power dynamic, that spectrum of, wherever you are on the spectrum, there is someone on the other side, a mirror, if you will.
Ooh.
Here's one that, okay.
Yes.
The Lion King.
Yeah.
You've got kids.
I do. I have kids.
You're watching a lot of animated movies. Did they see The Jungle Book?
They did not, because they're a little young and it's a little scary.
Oh, okay.
Because it's too real. Like
Right.
my daughter has seen the animated version, pure animation, original version, and she thinks it's okay and is a little scared by it in certain parts. But I wanted to watch this one first, Jon Favreau's, because I wanted to make sure that it would be okay for something to show my children. I don't always do that because, that's what a good parent does, and I'm not always a great parent in that regard. Maybe I'll just be like, let's watch this. Oh, wait, we shouldn't have done that.
It's Texas Chainsaw Night, kids.
Wait a minute. But, yeah, I watched it and realized, this isn't going to go with my kids, not for a while.
Okay.
But my daughter loves The Lion King. She saw a small little theater production, local, some of her friends were in it, and they were all, and now she's been reenacting it for the last month, and I'm just
has she been singing the songs?
All of them, all of the songs. Mm-hmm. She's been saying lines that I'm like, I don't know what you're even saying right now. And then I see she printed out a script somehow. I don't know how this happened. She's 6. And I was just
Kids on the internet, folks.
And then I realized, oh, that's what line you're trying to say. You're just not saying it correctly because you don't know how to say the word essential. And you're saying central instead. And I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, this Lion King movie won't be out until 2019 or something. So your kids will be a little bit older then. From what I remember, the Lion King was pretty intense.
Yeah.
But because they're such fans, you think that you'll take them to see this one?
Definitely taking them to see this one. I'm interested to see, is it going to be similar to Jungle Book, or is it going to mirror the on-stage production?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure what Jon Favreau has planned.
Yeah, the on-stage production, if you haven't seen it, that's something I feel like needs to be on everyone's bucket list to see it live, because it's just an incredible spectacle of a musical. And I would love to see it both ways, actually. I'd love to see it that way, and I would love to see it in a style like The Jungle Book.
Well, the big news this week is that Seth Rogen and Billy Igner, should I say... Billy Igner and Seth Rogen are going to be playing Timon and Pumba.
Why you say it that way?
I said it that way because there is no Pumba and Timon. That's not a thing. It's like Bert and Ernie.
Okay.
Ernie may have been the star, but it was pronounced. It was it wasn't Ernie and Bert. I always felt like it was Bert and Ernie.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, you don't ever keep them separate. I guess Pumba and Timon.
It's just the way it rolls off the tongue.
They're not
Timon
separate.
and Pumba.
Okay.
So Billy Igner and Seth Rogen, you think that they have what it takes to play the warthog and the meerkat?
I mean, I have no problems with Seth Rogen. I don't really know Billy in terms of vocal
You should watch Billy on the Street.
I've seen some of his Billy on the
funny.
Street, and he's funny, but I don't know how that transfers over necessarily to voice acting.
I think it's going to be good.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I really like the idea of Seth Rogen as a warthog.
I do wish that they would bring back original voices too, but maybe they've aged and they're like, well, I don't know.
I mean,
if we're gonna
these
do that.
these actors are going to be called upon to do a little bit more than just the voice stuff because they're probably in the suits or whatever.
Right.
I forget how Favreau pulled off the Jungle Book, but it was awesome. I love the Jungle Book, and I have even higher hopes for the Lion King.
Well, good.
What's next? What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Jeff Goldblum for a second.
Oh my God. He has found a way. Life always finds a way, Brienne.
Find a way. It's what is that thing about they were saying, can we do this, but should we do this? Or, and I'm like, we can have Jeff Goldblum. Should we have Jeff Goldblum?
And we should.
Yes, we should. The
Jeff
answer
Goldblum
is yes.
will be back as Dr. Ian Malcolm, right? Ian Malcolm in Jurassic World 2. I don't know if that will be the official title or not. This lit up the internet. I was actually surprised by how people were excited for this.
Sure.
It's did you see Independence Day Resurrection?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Oh, boy. But listen, even if we get 5 minutes of the Goldblum, he classes up every franchise he's in, right?
He does. And I saw a recent Photoshop of him on Twitter that I found hilarious, where someone made a food truck called Chef Goldbloom, and then they had him running it. And I thought that is brilliant. And I really want to see
I would go to that
Chef
food truck.
Goldblum.
It doesn't even matter what they serve. I think it's a savvy move on Universal's part, bringing somebody back from the original trilogy.
Right.
And he was in the first 2 movies, Jeff Goldblum. And yeah, I mean, always a welcome presence on screen.
Just bringing anyone back from the original is probably something that would be interesting. What about those kids from the original? What's up with them?
Oh, well, Ariana Richards has retired from the
Oh,
business.
she's done. Because I saw her in Tremors.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
right.
thinking about her, because she is the little girl on the pogo stick in Tremors.
And then it's Joseph Mazzello, right? I don't know when the last time I saw him was. I think he was in like Band of Brothers or The Pacific, one of those big war shows on HBO. Yeah, I'm not sure where they are. I've lost track. Just like I've lost track of
Time.
the Narnia children.
Oh.
There's going to be another Narnia movie. And
Okay.
Joe Johnston is going to be at the helm, the man who brought us Captain America, The Rocketeer, Jumanji, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And now, here's the question.
Yeah.
How many Narnia films have we done, and how many books are there? Because
There's 7 books.
Okay.
We've gotten 3 movies.
Okay.
Now,
So where are we in terms of like
I
the
have
Narnia
no clue.
Chronicles?
I'm done with this franchise.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I actually liked the first film. It was okay. I think I saw the second one. It was no good, and I gave up on the third.
This is the Silver Chair.
Right. What
Okay.
a title, by the way. I
I remember that book
Does this sound
being-
exciting? The Silver Chair?
Now listen. I remember reading this book, but like I don't remember the book, but I remember actually reading it, and I
Okay.
remember liking it. So
Okay. So this is
I
one of
could
the
be
better
interested.
books in the Narnia series.
as far as I remember. Isn't this great? Such great knowledge that you're getting today.
We are old, folks. You know, we can't go that far back. So Joe Johnston, Narnia. I guess this is going to be about the Pevensey siblings' cousin, Eustace Scrub, or something like that. I don't really know. I don't really care.
Okay.
I mean,
It's something that's happening.
is this something
Isn't
that your
great?
kids are interested in, Narnia?
Not yet. I think they will be. When I first started getting really interested in film and actually making movies, I was obsessed with why hasn't anyone made Narnia? Maybe I need to make Narnia, like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because I really loved the animated version that they came out with. I don't know when that was, but growing up, I remember watching that and enjoying it and thinking, when's the live action going to happen? And then it finally did, and I was like, yes, I'm pleased with this. Thank you.
I was surprised by the box office numbers on this franchise. The first one did big business, around $750 worldwide. The second one did significantly less, about $419 worldwide.
Okay.
And then I thought that there would be a huge drop-off between the second and the third, and that's why the franchise was let go, because it did move from Disney to Fox.
Okay.
No, it made $415 worldwide, so it performed
holding
right on
steady.
par with the second one. So I guess... I mean, now the franchise is over at Sony and TriStar. I mean, this franchise has just
What's
been passed
the
around town.
reason?
It's a good question. I don't know if it has to do with the rights, if Fox just wasn't interested in re-upping its deal. Obviously, Sony could probably use this, and Joe Johnston is a step in the right direction. I just don't know that it will get me in the theater.
Well, I mean, it's your job, so it will get you in the theater. Will it get your dollars beyond that?
Oh,
Is
no,
the
I
question.
don't. It may be my job, but I don't go to movies that I don't want to see.
Oh,
I won't see Pirates of the Caribbean.
okay.
I'm probably not going to see Narnia.
Let's talk about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah. Let's. That's a great segue.
Because Johnny Depp sometimes likes to go to Disneyland and dress up as Jack Sparrow and be on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which he did this last Wednesday and Thursday. So if you were at Disneyland Wednesday and Thursday, you would have
saw
seen him.
Johnny Depp. That's crazy.
While you were on the ride.
I did not
don't
know that.
Yeah, sometimes he does that. It's so...
Wouldn't
I think
you,
that's
if you
so
had that costume
interesting.
in your closet? You're like,
let's go entertain the kids for a while.
good way to spend the day.
So I saw videos on Instagram of him, people passing him while they're in the boat, and which is brilliant because these people can't get out of the boat because, water purposes. But then later I saw him up on some trellis of the building that the ride is at, just talking to the crowd, and they
Wow.
all had their phones up, recording what he was doing.
Now, does that earn him bonus points from you?
No.
No.
I you know what? I appreciate it as an actor, I don't like him as a person. So I personally would not go to see him do this, but I appreciate that that's something that he has done.
He's rehabilitating his image, probably.
Chipping away.
I guess that's all you can ask of a guy.
Sure.
I have to say, I loved his response. He's been embroiled in like some stuff with his financial managers. Who he says lost a bunch of his money, and they say his spending was crazy. I love. There were reports that he spent $3 million to have Hunter S. Thompson's ashes shot out of a cannon, and he corrected those reports. He's been saying that they were incorrect all along. The correction is that it cost him $5 million. I fucking love that. He's like, this is my money. All right, let's take our first call. Let's go to the phones. You are on Meet the Movie Press. Who do we got?
It's Kroll.
Oh, boy. JK over at Variety. You're talking to Miss Movies. What's on your mind, buddy?
I see you got a much better looking co-host today than that.
Simon will be
bald
offended.
guy.
Simon will be offended.
That's objective. Or
I was
subjective.
going to call you. I was going to call you, Kroll, if I couldn't
David
get Brian.
Fincher,
What?
lo and behold, David Fincher is directing World War C2. Jeff, what do you know?
Did I say he wasn't?
Wait, are you driving right now?
I'm sitting in my car.
Okay.
That's
the correct
we
answer.
want you to be safe, Justin. Wait, did I ever say that he wasn't directing World War Z2?
Well, I think you were like questionable that Paramount would move forward with it when like you guys talked about it in January.
I mean, it
at
was
one
questionable,
point.
obviously. We saw what happened.
Yeah, true.
But let me
It
ask
was
you.
funny the reaction to that. People were quite shocked that he actually went through with it. More so than like Paramount greenlighting. I think people were super surprised that Fincher is actually going to direct this
But
movie.
why? Why would they be shocked?
I wasn't surprised, Justin, just because it's like he wouldn't have engaged in the first place. Like this would have been dismissed immediately if he wasn't interested. Obviously, he has a great rapport with Brad Pitt. But Justin, let me ask you, why do you think Jim Giannopoulos is looking to greenlight this? Like, are they trying to make millions and millions of dollars on this, or do you think this is like a talent relations thing with Brad and David?
I mean, I wasn't able to add this into the story, but Triple Frontier was his first. I mean, when that went away, we just assumed he was going to tighten up things and just go with kind of more solidified stuff.
Right.
So when I had heard earlier this week that him and Brad and David had a sit down, and David has a vision for this film, and Jim's like super pumped for it. Whatever meeting they had recently, whether it was over dinner or in the studio, David and Brad were wanted to get this thing up and going, and really, I mean, listen, when it's David and Brad, there's not much winning over. It's not like it's like random schmoes coming in selling this thing, but they clearly have an idea. And I also heard that they were like, this will not get out of hand like the last one. It's going to cost.
You're right. That's the thing. The first one was hamstrung by these really expensive reshoots and everything, and it kind of chipped away at the profit. Now, the movie didn't flop, and I actually liked World War C. Did you like it, Brian? Did you see it?
This is a movie that I missed.
I'm
sorry.
Sorry,
everyone.
Kroll, you liked it,
What
right?
year did this come out?
I liked it quite a bit, actually. And to your point, Jeff, I don't want to get ahead of this, and I know you tweeted something about this, the rating.
Yes.
I think Jim G greenlit an R-rated Logan movie. That's his film he greenlit.
Hey,
that's on Stacey Sneider.
Good point.
Remember that. That film was $100 million. It was not. It was the least expensive X-Men movie ever made. I think Jim G is willing to consider this if the price is right and they do this. Now, David does do expensive movies, but I feel like if they come in and it's like around 100, 110, and I think David wants to do an R-rated version. I can't imagine any other way they go here.
I hope that they go R-rated because the idea of an R-rated David Fincher movie would be amazing. I'm fine with $150 million. The last one was like $190 million, and that is too expensive. They have to do this for the right price because there is an audience and they can make money on it. They just have to keep costs down. So it was a good scoop, and good for you on following up on that one, Kroll.
Yeah, good luck tonight, buddy. Send those Bulls packing, all right?
All right, take care.
Later, dude.
What Bulls are you sending packing?
I'm a big Celtics fan.
Okay.
We got Game 6
and you're
tonight.
in the game.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations.
No, I am not. I'm not in the game, but I'm cheering from home.
Okay.
We are taking calls, folks. 424-253-0504. Call in. You get to ask me and Brienne anything that you want.
Well, not anything, but mostly anything. We'll say that caveat, just in case. You never know, right?
If you want to propose marriage to Brienne,
I'm married
sorry,
already.
she's already married. Exactly. All right, what else is next on the list?
Second marriage, maybe. I'll consider. I'll put
We're
you on the
moving to
list.
Utah. Here's one. Okay,
Yes.
I'm curious to get your opinion on this.
Are you?
I am.
Okay,
so
great.
Universal picked up a Madonna biopic script called Blonde
Yes.
Ambition. Now, this was a high-ranking script on the blacklist. Normally, you see studios and producers try to secure the life rights of a biopic subject because it makes everything easier. In this case, they didn't, and they heard about it on Instagram.
Right.
Madonna sounding off, taking the social media to sound off, calling Universal and Elise Hollander, the writer, names. Where do you stand on this? Should Universal have gotten involved without Madonna's blessing? Do they need it? Are the best biopics made without the consent
wow.
of people?
I mean, how many are made without the consent of people or the estate?
Well,
is a good question.
Like Social Network, for instance. All right, we'll go to the phones.
Okay.
We'll come back. We'll double back to
we'll
that
return.
one. You're on Meet the Movie Press. Who do we got?
Yeah. Hi, it's Ratan from Toronto, Ontario.
Hey.
Hi.
What's on your
I
mind?
just got done. I just want to talk about Covenant. It's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yep.
I was just wondering what the tracking was for that movie, because there hasn't been as much marketing as I thought it would be, even considering it was an R-rated. Because when Logan came out, Fox pushed that really hard. But Covenant hasn't been getting that push yet, so I'm just wondering what's the tracking suggestion.
Interesting. I don't know what the tracking calls for. I am not a big box office kind of guy. I feel like there has been a lot of promotion, though. It's been constant, it feels like, at least online, all the different articles and interviews. And
online, not the traditional sense, like the movie, like the TV spots. I thought they would have taken advantage more of the Super Bowl, the draft last night, but they only showed one commercial.
Oh, interesting. See, I don't have cable. I'm a cord cutter, so I never know what is getting a big push on for TV ads. So it's a good question. I wish I could help. I don't think, Brian, you don't know
I don't really
what
know,
it's tracking.
but wasn't there like something that came out that was kind of like what happened before?
The
they landed?
prologue.
Yes.
But like to Jeff's point, they've been doing a lot of online campaign, which I credit them for, and it's really interesting and it's a different take. But like the traditional sense, they haven't been really hitting that yet, and it's coming out fairly quickly, and they've already done the pre-sales for the tickets. And to my knowledge, what I've been looking at, it's been pretty disappointing so far, as to compare to Logan per se, which I'm putting on par because of the R rating, solely on the R rating.
Sure, no, and I understand that comparison. I mean, I think you have to, since they are such different movies and the fan bases are a little bit different too, I mean, you kind of have to compare it to Prometheus.
I'd say the fan bases are way different.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong.
So I'll tell you this. Fox is showing us the movie on Friday night, not tonight, but next Friday.
Wow.
And the embargo lifts, I think, the following day on May 6th, which is a few weeks out. So I feel like either this is a really good movie that they're confident in and want to get the word out, or it's a really bad movie, and they just want the reviews to come out 3 weeks before the movie before the movie hits.
So people will forget about it.
Exactly, so it'll all blow over by then. They'll have some time to correct the message in the interim. Listen, are you looking forward to it, Brienne?
I am. Alien is my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
So I
Wow.
am definitely looking forward to this. And I liked Prometheus. I'm one of those people that actually liked the film, and I feel like I'm the cheese that stands alone sometimes.
I didn't hate Prometheus. I thought it had some
You
interesting.
said I didn't hate it.
No,
which
I
is
didn't.
different than saying that you
I
liked
didn't
it.
love it. I thought it was okay. And Caller, are you looking forward to Alien? Do you think it looks good?
I'm looking really forward to Alien. I want to see because I feel like Prometheus was kind of like Ridley Scott being forced to do something that he really wasn't interested in with the whole engineers thing. The ideas were better than the actual final product to me. And I feel like most of those ideas will come to fruition in this.
Right.
I saw this Adam Savage thing where he showed like some of the engineers things that they're building on set, which look really cool and kind of blew my mind. Where he's going to take Alien Covenant with this and connecting it, and which is really highly anticipated on my list.
I've heard from people that it's pretty good. That Catherine Waterston is a really strong lead, and that it's a super violent, fucking crazy movie.
Is it true? Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
But is it true that she's related to what's it called, Ripley? Because I heard that like 3 months ago, but I just watched it.
I don't know. I won't be able
take?
to say until I see it. I wouldn't want to speculate, but that is an intriguing possibility. Anyways, thank you for kickstarting this Alien conversation, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
For some reason, I thought he was asking, like, actually related to Sigourney Weaver for some reason. And I was like, that doesn't say that in the bio.
So again, back to the Madonna biopic thing.
Yeah.
Do we have another caller? All right, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. You're on Meet the Movie Press. Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Ed.
What's up, Ed?
Hi.
Yeah, I talked. Hey, hi, this movie. I talked last month, I believe, or about The Flash. I don't know if you remember me.
Yep, The Flash. Yep.
Okay. Well, actually, so I don't know if you guys thought about this, but the Vince McMahon biopic is to be picked up. I think you heard about that, right?
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. The what biopic?
Sorry, the Vince McMahon biopic.
Oh, yes, the Vince McMahon biopic. Yes, what about it?
Well, yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little kid, and I've been wanting a Vince McMahon. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. I think that Vince McMahon has a very interesting life, off and on, working with the WWF, and I'm very scared now because the WWE is part of the process of making the movie and including Vince McMahon. And I think that this movie is, to me, is off the caliber type movie. For a right actor, it'll be like the Steve Jobs movie.
We gotta cut this call. I'm sorry, I can't understand anything you're saying. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Let's go to the next caller. Sorry about that, caller. Yeah, it was a struggle to hear you. But I think that you were talking about the Vince McMahon biopic Pandemonium. I don't know how much you read about that.
I haven't read anything about it.
Are you familiar at all?
I mean, I'm familiar with Vince McMahon, and I definitely still need to see the XFL 30 for 30 because I really am interested in knowing more about that.
I mean, it sounds like he has led a very colorful life. I have no idea who they could find to play him. I mean, he's an older
Michael
guy
Fassbender.
and he's chiseled. Maybe
because he plays everyone. Michael Fassbender, please do this.
I don't see that happening.
Oh darn.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the casting is on that one. Again, some of these biopics are just real head scratchers, and I look at something like The Founder with Michael Keaton, which I thought was a really good movie, featuring a great performance, and that just gets lost in the shuffle. So, unless there's a big marketing push behind this Vince McMahon movie, I don't really see it striking a chord with the type of people who typically go see biopics. Yeah, we'll take another call.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, the wrestling world, I'm sure, would really want to see it. So.
Yeah, but how big is that, really?
Huge.
You're calling in to Meet the Movie Press. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Saul from Texas.
What's up, Saul?
So with all over the past week, I'm sure you guys will get to it, but I just want to ask with the recent kind of X-Men news that kind of hit this week.
Yep.
I wanted to ask, first of all, I'm a big fan of the show. Great show.
Thank you.
But James McAvoy, it's pretty much confirmed that he'll be back for possibly New Mutants and the new X-Men movie. Because with like a recent Instagram post, I'm sure he'll be back. But I wanted to ask, do you guys think or know anything about if Michael Fassbender will be back? Because, I mean, all their contracts are up. But I love his Magneto, and I would really love for him to be back. So I just want to ask what y'all's opinions would be on his return.
Man, this is another universe / franchise where it's just like all over the place.
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to go new and turn it over, but that's just me.
Because there's two different projects, I'm like, I don't know, are they even connected? New Mutants, it doesn't necessarily sound like it, but Dark Phoenix, it sounds like he could be. I think if they are trying to get Jennifer Lawrence and Fassbender back for at least one more movie. And I think you saw the Collider rumored a couple months ago that Simon Kinberg is going to direct the Dark Phoenix. There hasn't been any official announcement on that front, even though it just got a release date. But I have certainly heard things that echo that.
Does say he's the writer for it. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about whether they are going to give him a shot to direct. I haven't heard any other directors' names on that front. Josh Boone is going to be shooting in Boston this summer with Anya Taylor-Joy and Maisie Williams. Those names have already sort of come out. I don't know which of the other young cast. Like, are we going to see Ty Sheridan back as Cyclops? I don't know. So again, this is just one of those things where it's really hard to get a handle on what is actually happening because there's so much happening,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
But I think
feel
it's
like
yeah.
I just felt like because after I mean, it depends on like what kind of take they go, if they go with kind of a reboot kind of thing, but especially after kind of Assassin's Creed didn't do very well, it would be in Fassbender's kind of interest, hopefully, that he would come back. I think he's just done such a great job as Magneto, and I'm pretty sure because Sophie Turner will be back, so I assume Ty Sheridan, the younger cast, will be back.
Right. No, so Sophie Turner, I think, is the key to their whole future plans for this franchise. Yeah. We'll see. I hope Josh Boone knocks it out of the park. I'm a big fan of his. So, thank you for calling. Have a good weekend.
Him wanting Michael Fassbender to be back or to stay is me wanting Christopher Nolan to come back to DC.
Right.
So there's that.
Did we have another call, or should we pull the plug on calls? If we get one more, I'll take it. But otherwise, let's move it along. So again,
Madonna.
Back to Universal.
Madonna.
Like, okay, was she within reason to call out the studio for this, or should she have gone private with her complaints?
What would you do?
I mean,
I would call
me.
it out.
I would go public.
I think that she's in her right to be like, "Why are you doing this? You don't have my consent to do this."
Well, God, last call. We're going to take a call,
and then we'll really discuss Madonna.
Caller, you're on Meet the Movie Press. What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you? What's your name?
Scott Patterson.
Cool. What's on your mind, Scott?
Hi. I was going to ask about the new film that's coming out, or is rumored to come out. That got pushed. Indiana Jones. Is it actually going to happen, or what?
Yes. Indiana Jones is going to happen.
Whether we like it or not.
Yeah, it's all a matter of when.
I wanted to happen. I'm just kind of worried.
I'm not an Indiana Jones guy either. I don't know if they're going to. I mean, they said that they're going to bring back Harrison Ford.
Yes.
We'll see what his health is like.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, there's been rumors that Chris Pratt is being groomed to take over that franchise.
How dare they do that to Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, who do they think they are up at Disney? Again, I don't know if he would play Indiana Jones or like Billy Jones or something
Billy
like
Jones.
Billy Jones.
Or just Henry.
Yeah, but it did get a new date. It got pushed by one more year, so you'll have to be a little bit more patient.
2020.
Yeah,
How old would Harrison Ford be?
Yeah. We'll see how the Blade Runner movie does. I mean, if that's a huge hit, maybe Disney is more incentivized to get him back and get the whip in his hands. Anyways, thank you for calling, and have a good weekend. All right, Madonna. This is it.
Madonna.
This is our last
This
time. What do you think Madonna is trying to gain by going public? Like, does she just want control over her own story? Is she just angling for an executive producer credit and a payday? What do you think it is? Was she trying to tell it herself?
Maybe she wants to be able to say yes and no to certain things that are going to be in this film.
Right.
And so if she says you don't have my consent to do this, I'm not behind this, then maybe that'll put a mark on this film and people aren't going to put their money into it. I don't know. Or maybe she wants the money. Obviously.
Do you want to see a Madonna biopic?
I want to see a Madonna anything.
Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Well, you know what? The song that I love the most from Madonna actually comes from Dick Tracy, which is Sooner or Later.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's one of my favorites.
Do you think that there's anybody out there now who could even play Madonna? Like, who would you want to see in a biopic?
You know what? It would be interesting to see someone we don't know. With Jennifer Lopez as Selena. That was a great jumping off point for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be interesting. It depends on what point of her life we're going to see her in, as well.
It sounds like early 80s.
I want someone that sings, or I want them to dub someone.
Well, let me throw out my big idea right now. You guys ready? Universal, are you listening to this? I know you are.
Yes, they are.
Liz Gillies from Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, the Dennis Leary FX show where she was playing a young rock and roll singer. I think she's got the attitude, she's got the fire, and she's got the look. Liz Gillies, put her on the list.
Right.
We will move it along from Madonna. God, we have so much to cover. Shit! We did Jeff Goldblum. Will Smith and Ang Lee teaming up on Gemini Man. This is a movie in which Will Smith would be playing an old, like an assassin, and then his own younger clone comes after him, who's like faster, stronger, maybe not as smart though.
Always. Never as smart.
I mean, the idea of Will Smith and Ang Lee teaming up, is that intriguing to you?
Sure.
Or?
Ang Lee is incredible. I'd want to see another Sense and Sensibility out of him, but don't know if I'm going to get that.
Do you like the idea of two Will Smiths? Like, can the big screen handle double Smith?
Is that how that works?
I think so. I don't think that they would like cast Michael B. Jordan as like the young Will Smith. I think that they would digitally de-age him. This script has been around for 20 years.
This could be interesting because I love The Parent Trap with Haley Mills.
Oh, okay.
So I'm totally into it.
Yeah.
Just on that alone.
Of course. I'm just excited to see Will Smith working with a director the caliber of Ang Lee. I think Will Smith has borderline horrible taste in directors. And what's crazy is he has the power to like say, all right, I'm going to work with this director. I'm not going to work with this director.
But what if you get that good script and you're like, you know what? The script is really good.
Listen, directors can come and go though. So Will Smith has only worked with one Oscar-winning filmmaker in his career.
Which was?
And that was Robert Redford on The Legend of Bagger Vance. He has worked with Akiva Goldsman on Winter's Tale. Akiva won for screenwriting. This is the best director that Will Smith has worked with so far, and hopefully these deals close because I think it's a really exciting pairing. Ang Lee coming off Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, which was a total flop. He may be looking to deliver another commercial hit so that he can get financing for the movie he really wants to make, which is the boxing movie The Thrill in Manila, which is apparently he's having trouble getting that off the ground.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
GoFundMe. People will support this.
They're out there. Let's see. Kevin Hart starring in a remake of The Great Outdoors. Do you ever see that movie?
I didn't, but I know
it's a good
John
one.
Candy is in it. Who else is in it?
You should. That's a good family film.
I'm writing it down.
Isn't
Isn't it rated R?
I don't know. It might be. It might be.
I'm gonna look that up.
I don't know who they would pair
Family
Kevin
film.
Hart with. I don't know who could like. I assume he would be like the Aykroyd, and that they would pair him with like a funny fat guy sort of thing.
It was PG for its time.
Yeah. See.
88. Was that before or after PG-13?
I don't know. It's a good question. Is there any chance we can get more time in this show?
It was after, because Red Dawn is the first PG-13 film to be released.
All right, yeah, I'll take whatever you will give me because we've got a lot to get through. Warner Brothers this week cast Callum Turner as Newt Scamander's brother.
Okay.
I don't know how big a part this is. They certainly look alike, Callum Turner and Eddie Redmayne. Are you familiar with this actor?
Not much, but there was something on his
Green Room.
list. Yeah, Green Room that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I did like Green Room, so.
Yeah, he was good in Green Room, and I just saw this movie Tramps that just debuted on Netflix that I would definitely recommend. I don't know, he's a bright, young, emerging talent, and I'm sure he will fit right into this wizarding world.
How do you feel about this section of the wizarding world?
Oh, I don't do them. I don't touch
Okay.
it. Yeah, it's like Narnia. It's like Indiana Jones. I don't care.
Wizarding is not your thing.
Nope.
Because
Didn't
I
see Fantastic
enjoyed
Beasts. Did you?
Fantastic Beasts, but I don't know if I am wanting to continue it further. But I liked it, so I don't know. I really did like Harry Potter, though. So I that franchise is one that I do love.
Well, this one has big roles for Johnny Depp, right? A bigger role, and then Dumbledore, Jude Law, right? Jude Law cast as young Dumbledore, so they're upping the star power this time around. I forgot, Star Wars got a release date, Star Wars 9, Episode 9, in May 2019. It seems to me like they are moving that whole franchise to May. Which is, yes, the date of the original trilogy or whatever. But to me, these movies have been very successful in December. They're moving them to May. Whether it's to avoid Avatar or not, I can't say for sure. But the Avatar sequels also got dated for December 20 2021, 2024, and 2025.
I feel like I'm the only one that's like, Avatar was great. I don't need to see anymore.
I definitely don't need to see anymore.
I'm like, am I really the only one that
the world does not feel like that. I mean,
I guess
there's a reason that these movies are so
it's the
gigantic.
globalness of it all.
Right.
Like, I don't care, and I'm in the United States, but there could be people, elsewhere.
And that's the name of
really
the game
do
these
care.
days. Look at Fate of the Furious.
That's why it did so well, because it was all overseas money.
Diminishing returns here in the U.S., but globally just blowing up. So yeah, Star Wars in May. I think it'll really affect that month. I think it'll throw off the entire summer blockbuster calendar as movies flee from it. You can't even open in like early May because then you get like a week or two to make your money and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Star Wars is just such a juggernaut. What else got dates? I mean, Lion King, Indiana Jones, Frozen 2, Wreck-It Ralph.
Frozen 2, when's that coming out? Because I need to put that on my calendar. I do.
On the mom calendar. We also saw the animated Spider-Man move up a week to avoid a showdown with Aquaman.
Okay.
Aquaman moved on to its date, and so that one's running. I also love the juggling between Kingsman 2 and the Tom Cruise movie American Made, where Universal pushed American Made to avoid, or maybe they moved it up. I forget which one it was. But they moved the Tom Cruise movie to avoid Kingsman. Then Kingsman moved, and then within an hour of Kingsman moving, Universal moved the Tom Cruise movie back. So those two studios
they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah, they're
like,
they're
you
playing.
Know what? We're gonna do this. You're gonna move. All right, I'm gonna move now too.
They're playing a fun game of chess. A whole bunch of
Sure, it'll change.
Margot Robbie cast as Mary Queen of Scots.
That could be interesting.
Who cares? I
like period pieces.
I know. See, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I am not the audience for
That's
those
right.
kind of costume things.
You're
But
not.
I would be the audience for something like Outlaw King, which is going to reteam Chris Pine and Ben Foster and David Mackenzie, the team behind Hell or High Water. They're going over to
beautiful.
Netflix again to make a Robert the Bruce movie. Who cares about this? Robert the Bruce? What? There was nothing else David Mackenzie wanted to direct with his clout from Hell or High Water, not his 80s cop movie or anything.
I mean, money talks, so who knows what kind of
that is the name of the game for Netflix
into
these
his
days.
Pockets.
Okay, we're really coming down to the wire now. The Circle came out today. I love James Ponsoldt. I saw it last night. I paid to see it. It's a big disappointment.
Paid?
I don't want to badmouth it too much because I'm a big fan of James Ponsoldt, and I'm sure he will rebound. But that's a bad movie. Steer clear of The Circle. It made about $430,000 last night, and that's this weekend's big release. It's looking at about a $10 to $12 million weekend. Probably not what they had in mind when they cast Tom Hanks and Emma Watson. What's the best movie you've seen recently, Brianne? Real quick.
Gosh, I mean, I've said this earlier. I saw Tremors for the first time.
That's what you're recommending to the audience? Okay.
Okay, I really enjoyed it. Reba McEntire, I was surprised to see her in this film. But it was just a lot of fun. And I miss having fun watching movies because I feel like things are so serious right now.
They should totally remake Tremors. Get Danny McBride in on that shit.
Oh, that could be
great.
good.
Yesterday, I also saw Patty Cakes, which is a Sundance movie that was acquired by Fox Searchlight. It was amazing.
Patty Cakes with a $sign on the
That's
S.
right. Don't forget that she's Killer P. And that movie comes out this summer. I think in July. It'll be counter-programming to like Spider-Man or something. I absolutely loved it. It is my favorite movie of the year so far.
Wow.
Definitely check that out when it comes out. It's about a New Jersey girl who wants to become a rapper. We have about a minute and a half left. Let's end it here. Okay. R.I.P. Jonathan Demme. Who died this week, the director of Silence of the Lambs in Philadelphia. I wrote a little appraisal in remembrance of his career for the tracking board, so check that out. Did you have a favorite?
I mean, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
obviously.
A classic.
That's pretty much mic drop.
Okay.
Me. Is that one of the, it won the top 5 Oscars?
Yeah, it swept one of 3 films to sweep the Oscars.
Yeah, that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
He was an amazing director, and it happened one night. He's an amazing director. He told really humane stories. He had empathy for his characters, and he will absolutely be missed. It looks like that's going to do it for this week's installment of Meet the Movie Press. There's so much we didn't even get to talk about, like the Kingsman trailer, a Michael Mann Vietnam series, all kinds of good stuff. But those are the rules of the studio. So,
How it
Brienne,
goes.
where can our the good people find you?
The good people of Meet the Movie Press
Yes.
can find me on Twitter at Miss Movies. You can also check out missmovies.net, where you can find my network of everything that I do from my shows.
Look at that smile. You're going to want to watch her videos.
That's right. Check out Film Therapy.
She lights up YouTube. And yeah, Film Therapy. Check out our episode. I had a blast. And I'm Jeff Sneider, editor-in-chief of The Tracking Board, tracking-board.com. Make sure you check out our interview with our up-and-comer of the month, Slate star Jacob Lattimore. That'll be going up later today. I'll also be on Collider Video, taking on Drew McWeeny in the Schmodown. Big video. So make sure you check that out. And as always, thank you for watching the Popcorn Talk Network. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe so we can keep doing the show. Showbiz Simon will return next week.
And I will not.
We'll miss you. Everybody, have a great weekend. You just met the Movie Press.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.